Hello everybody! Welcome back to Nuke Shot Media and the Capital GT Championship. We are here at the Daytona road course for round 2 of the season for the Sunshine 100. 100 miles, 26 laps. Should be an exciting race. I am of course Nuke Shot Zokyo, as always. The only broadcaster on this channel, if you didn't realise by now. Something's wrong. Either that or you're a new viewer, in which case, hi! Myth in chat already. Thanks very much. He's our safety car driver for today. Be an interesting season so far. Here we are currently in the practice mode, getting ready for qualifying, which is going to start in approximately 13 minutes. Our current fastest time from practice is a 1:45.630, set by this user here, Widow, who I seem to recall from one of the previous races. It might have been the preview round. I'm not 100% sure on that. Nevertheless, they are driving for Team Capital, with the number 9. Maybe I've pinched that from myself this time around, but I'm not racing, so it's fine. Look at that, a further improvement, a 1:45.179. That Mercedes could be one to watch out for come qualifying. We'll have to see. Will RS, they definitely were at the preview event at Road Atlanta. Missed round 1. They're returning now for Wheelers Tuning by Project 1 in the number 515 Nissan GTR. The bright yellow machine. Were very impressive. I think they won the preview race, if my memory serves me correct, which it hasn't on many occasions. Distinct Artemis in the McLaren. Looking for a strong showing today. Not as good a result for them, as I recall, at the high speed ring for round 1. Hoping to bounce back from that. Car 42, and we know the Distinct team are very fast indeed. We've got some green on the grid for once. It's finally happened. We've got Y there for Nuke Shot Motorsport in the Ford Mustang. They're currently parked on the infield at the International Horseshoe, that is. And teammate there, Dashi, season reserve driver, with one of the indicators on. I'm not sure necessarily why. There they are, number 47. Zerk City, another GTR, popular choice once again. Should be interesting to see how they do on the bankings here at Daytona. Car number 7. That being for Team Taters, which is interesting because this is a bit of a different livery here. So a special livery for the Team Taters driver. Nice to see. Another Distinct driver, this time making their debut for this particular season, is Distinct Hosky. Looking to be towards the upper end of the timing sheets as it stands in practice in the Genesis, the X Group 3, not sponsored by Twitter, or formerly Twitter, or whatever, bad joke. Fan favourite Dominic Kubinski for turn 1, they're here as well, car number 72. Can we get some Kubinskis in the chat? Preferably in all caps lock. Hello to Maro, who's in the chat, and AG27. Thanks to both of you for tuning in. Who else do we have around here? We have Taters himself in the more traditional Team Taters livery. Menard's sponsorship on that. Very nice indeed. Be looking to see how they do. Who else is around? Myth, our safety car driver, is in the pits, as is Joe of the Fire of Team Simpact Racing. They're in a Nissan GTR. Who else is around? I think that might be everyone at the moment. Some might still join. We've got 9 minutes to go until the start of qualifying, as mentioned. Just going through some of the settings. It will be 10 minutes as per usual for qualifying. For the race, again, no compound rules for the tyres, but a minimum of 1 pit stop. There's a potential for a safety car if there's an incident involving 2 or more cars. Basically a car spinning by itself, that won't bring it out. Let's see if there's a championship standings. I've been added in the mod chat, that's something. Yes, Joe, mentioning in that mod chat, track limits are off for this particular round. They're relatively self-policing anyway. You'll note on the International Horseshoe, you can run to the beyond the white line. That's actually allowed even with the track limits on. There you see Xerxity using that extra bit of tarmac, but it's mainly to police the Le Mans chicane, the bus stop on the backstretch. It can be a little bit dodgy at times with cutting rules. So that is why those are switched off. And of course, no pit entry line or exit line cutting rules either. Championship standings, let's see if I can find those anywhere. CGTC standings. Let's hope this doesn't download a virus. Well, after one round, it is Joe of the Fire, a race winner, that will be leading the championship on 18 points, followed by Taters, who ran out of fuel, if you remember, from that race. Crushing defeat. Who's actually got a qualifying ban for this round, it says in the notes. So that's unfortunate for them. That was probably something that the stewards dished out there. Widow is third, they are on 12 points. 8 points is Distinct Artemis in fourth. Octavian, who I don't think is in the lobby at the moment. Hopefully they're on the way. They're in fifth, they're on 6 points. Sixth place on 5 points is Xerxity, who is here again today. J Law, they are on 4 points in seventh. Drixie, they are on 1 point. That was for the fastest lap, I believe, that they got that. They were a DNF, unfortunately, and Kaguya was disqualified and given 2 qualifying bans. So I don't know if Kaguya is actually here racing today, but if they were, they wouldn't be competing in qualifying. 5 minutes to go until the start of qualifying for today. Thank you all so much for your continued support, watching the live stream and such. Who's going to do the Williams funny? Who's going to qualify completely out of position and up the field? Who knows? There's some unknowns. Of course, as I mentioned, it's the first race of the season for any Nuke Shot car. Fan favourites on this channel, just kidding. We get slandered quite a lot anyway, it's fine. There is Bear making his way through the Le Mans chicane. Long-time driver for the team, of course. He's currently in 5th. Not too far behind, less than a tenth, is the Nissan GTR of Taters. Mauro expecting people to run the apron like iRacing. From experience, the game does reset you if you do that. So, even with the track limit penalties off, you get teleported back. So it's I don't think it would be possible to do that today. We've got 12 cars on circuit. Okay, so someone must have joined. Have they? Ah, Banana Josh. They are here. In that Lamborghini. I remember them from a high-speed ring. Are they J Law then? I'm guessing. It's like one of the few cases that the username on the championship standings thing is different on that. I'm being atted once again. What's this? Ah, J-Law is Josh. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Smith. Back to the notes. 26 laps make up around 100 miles here today for the Sunshine 100 at Daytona. The time of day will be set to evening with 2 times progression, so we could be seeing some night running towards the end of this. Something also to watch out for will be the wind speed and the direction. We've got currently a 4 meters a second tailwind going into turn 1, so that's going to make braking for turn 1 be a little bit earlier than normal. If it's a headwind, there's a decent chance of catching opposing drivers off guard and able to brake a little bit later. But of course, we want everyone to be as safe as possible while putting on a good show for the audience here today on Nukeshot Media. If you're enjoying the live stream so far, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing for the remainder of the season. All very much appreciated. See a couple cars close together on circuit. Hosky and Banana Josh. Genesis in pursuit of Lamborghini. Is that a little bit of bump drafting I'm seeing? We're going on board. It seems like it. Now I recall we seeing some bump drafting at high speed ring as well. It is legal. Just a little bit risky at times. Oh, there's contact! Contact, and I think that is Banana Josh going round. No, they managed to keep it in a straight line, but Hosky forcing their way past. Oh, thank goodness it's only practice, because that kind of move could potentially cop a penalty if it was in race conditions. Absolutely miraculous how I managed to catch that. We've got eyes everywhere here in the studio. There was one person typing Kubinski in the chat, and it was in full lowercase. Thanks for that, mate. Oh dear. Okay, qualifying will be starting shortly. There's our safety car out in front. The lights flashing. Normally not me that actually calls this bit, but I'm putting starting soon in the chat just as a reminder to the rest of the staff. Ah, we're waiting for Zerk. Fair enough. So qualifying being delayed slightly. Ah yes, we've only got 11 on circuit. So Hosky on their season debut. I'm not sure if they competed in the previous guise of this championship, back when it was multi-class, but they currently hold the fastest time here in practice. A 1:45.005. Will we see anyone go into the 44s, I wonder? Maybe with a bit of slipstream. Some teams might be coordinating that. We'll have to see. Hello to Dash in the chat. Optimism 100 there. You'll be fine, just don't die and don't kill anyone else, basically. He's, of course, making his debut for the team. They're sat in the pits. I think everyone's sat in the pits at the moment. The lobby wasn't reset, so everyone's just gone back there on the edge of their seats. There you see the bright and colourful grid that we have. Somehow Myth has outqualified Dashi at the moment. I think that's just due to joining and stuff. Oh dear. Dashi, don't qualify behind the safety car. Actually, technically everyone starts behind the safety car, so it's not as bad. Mauro with the optimism in chat for the Nuke Shot guys as well, thank you very much. Small talk is beginning in the lobby chat, it would seem. This particular race is not brought to you by Vimto this time. It's I think it's Tesco own brand, either orange or tropical juice. I think tropical, because orange would be a bit more orangey than this. Yeah, I think there's hints of pineapple in there and stuff like that. Yeah, technically, the safety car qualifies on pole position every race, doesn't it? So, Myth with the consistent record. Ah, yes, that's a fair point. I'll leave this particular section so you can read that. I'll read it out loud. So as we know, some rule changes have been made. Most notably is incident calling. Remember to type C in the chat if you are involved in an incident. If 2 or more cars type C on the same lap, the caution will come out. And of course, Taters has a qualifying ban. Oh dear. You know, at least that's like a testament to the stewarding, at least, though. It's like even the series organizer isn't above the law, so credit to them for that. Xerxity should be on their way back soon. Green is green. I completely agree with that one. Some would say I agree with that one. No one would actually say that apart from me, of course. More than a lap down. Orange is more orange. Yes, that's one of the quotes of all time, I suppose. It's actually like a sort of a yellowish orange in colour. And no, don't make any jokes on that. It does taste of sort of orange, pineapple. There's something, some other kind of fruit, I suppose. Maybe a bit of lemon. Yeah. Whatever it is, it's nice. We're not calling it SSRL. Oh dear. Well, yeah, thanks for the activity in chat. We've currently got 4 viewers, it says here. I'm just going to reset the stream there. Yep, 4 viewers. Wyber is sleepy. That's, oh dear, that's not a good sign. He is driving from Indonesia, which, as you can see from here, is upside down Poland. Or Monaco. But no, that is Indonesia. So he's currently racing at about 1 AM in the morning for him, or 2 AM, around there. So shout out to him. He's been racing for the team for many years now, having to deal with these kinds of time zones. Many thanks to him. Is that a Top Gear reference? I was driving in my car, listening to Jeremy Clarkson when they did that radio show. They were like chased out the studio. Oh dear. Funny stuff. Hosky making their way around the circuit. Qualifying will be very, very shortly. 10 minutes as mentioned before. We're looking at 1 minute 45 lap times. Could see a 44 perhaps. Oh, a bit of a spin move there for Hosky in the Genesis. Here we go then. Qualifying is underway. It will be 10 minutes as per usual. I believe it's the in-game system being used, yep. So all that is being kept track of by the game. I was going to type it's 10 minutes, but of course they will see that themselves. Making their way out of the pits, they'll have one outlap and then as many laps as they can fit into that 10-minute window. The tailwind still persists here at the Daytona International Speedway, 4.2 meters a second. Keep an eye on that one. It'll be a headwind going onto the back straight. Could be good for some late braking, I suppose, going into the Le Mans chicane. I haven't actually done an audio check, so I'll do that now. Yeah, okay, that's working fine. I knew there was something I forgot. Typical. Here's Joe of the Fire. Race winner for round 1 and championship leader as a result. His gamer tag seems to be clipping through the fence. That's somewhat concerning. Look at this camera work we have by Jack Wilkinson, our drone pilot and cameraman. We'll be going on board for the first of these laps. There you see, it does go beyond the white lines, but with the track limits off, that is allowed. It was just very lenient stuff going through there. Here we are then, on board with Joe of the Fire. Oval specialist back on Gran Turismo 5 and onwards from there. So he knows his way around these kinds of circuits. Taking the high line, dipping down a bit, starting the lap. Here we go, braking for turn 1. Trying to get it stopped. Turn 1 is a bit off camber and a bit bumpy on the outside line, which can lead to further understeer. Gets through there nicely, through that little flick, and into the international horseshoe. Will they use that extra space on the tarmac? Yep, nicely done. Bit of a kick of oversteer, it seems. Making their way through the kink between the two horseshoes. Coming up to the western horseshoe now. It's a bit of a later apex than you initially think. Don't want to get on the throttle too early. Nicely done there by Joe. And now making their way onto the corner, leading back onto the oval. Speedway turn 1. There you see the American flag flying in the distance. Several of them are put up around the circuit, it seems. Nice and low to the double yellow line. Now on the run towards the Le Mans chicane. We'll have a headwind for this, remember. How late do they brake? Very late. And they get it stopped nicely. Two wheels just kept on that final curb. Keeping it nice and low down once again through Speedway turn 3 and 4 as we make our way to the exit. He doesn't have any slipstream partners at the moment, being this far out front, and I don't think he has a teammate either for this race, so it'll be difficult. But here's the first lap of the day. It's a 1:45.924 for Joe of the Fire. Widow eclipses that. Widow goes with a 1:45.678 to the top of the timing sheets provisionally. More times coming through. Hosky currently in third with a 1:45.967. Dominic Kubinski jumps up to second. Just under half a tenth behind Widow. That's a 145.722. More cars crossing the line. Will RS, our pre-season race winner, 146.544. They'll be looking to find a bit more pace out there. Distinct Artemis, 146.625. They're currently in 6th. Banana Josh in the Lamborghini, they've set a 146.916 on their first lap. That's good enough for 7th as it stands. 8th place at the moment is first of the Nuke Shot cars. It's 147.306. That's Dashi. Going a little bit wide into the Western Horseshoe, it seems. 9th at the moment is the other Nuke Shot car of Wybear, 147.711. Zerk City, 149.620, a bit off the pace at the moment. Maybe made a mistake on that first lap. They are improving significantly on this one, 1.8 seconds up. Let's see then, they're coming up to their second laps completed. Any predictions in the chat for who we could see towards the top of the timing sheets at the end of this? Be sure to leave them. No improvement for Joe that time around, an improvement for Widow and Husky. So Husky is now a provisional pole sitter, 145.397, not quite as fast as they went in practice, as I think that's the Mustang of Wybear getting out of the way of some drivers. Some further improvements around the field, Banana Josh notably, with a 45.902, as a Zerk City is actually span. It looked like it was that car that was sort of parked in turn 1. They reset to the pits. Husky apologising, so may have impeded someone. I'm not fully sure. But yeah, they said sorry in the chat. Not fully sure what's going on. A bit slidey going onto the banking and actually clips the wall. Some sparks being thrown up by that Genesis. So Widow currently second and 3/10 purple at this point. Dominic Kubinski in third. Now, Joe, who is here, will be the next to cross the line once again. Making their way through Speedway turn 4 and towards the tri-oval where the start-finish line is located. Will it be an improvement for Joe? I don't think it is. No improvement that time around. And we're getting to the point where if you pit for fresh tyres, I don't think you're going to get out again. I think no one's going for that option anyway because it's a really long pit stop delta here at the Daytona International Speedway. Will Sutters improves. That's Will RS, as does Banana Josh. And Dominic Kubinski as well. Up to second place. And the top 3 seem to be separated by just over a tenth of a second, as we've got 2 minutes left on the clock. It'll be this lap and one more, I think, for the field. Hello to Pine GTS in the chat. Thanks for tuning in to this one as well. Currently up to 8 viewers. Widow purple by 0.5 of a second. As the fuel load burns down, they're getting to around 3/4 of their fuel capacity. It's a significant amount of weight that's being shed throughout this. So the times will keep getting faster and faster. Joe making their way through the Le Mans chicane once again. It's an improvement, but it's not much. I don't think Joe's going to be on the front row of the grid this time, unless the GTR is an absolute monster through this final flat-out run. They will, of course, have one more lap to prove it. Across the line, it is an improvement, but no position change for Joe. Widow goes back to the top of the timing sheets. That's a 145.266. Hosky improves, but not quite enough. A tenth off of that time. 145.375. Wybear improves to 8th. Who else was that just came across the line? I think it may have been Banana Josh is coming up to the line. We'll see what they do now. It looked like it was going to be not an improvement that time around. An improvement for Dashi, it seems there. I think it was Distinct Artemis that made that improvement. So they're in 6th at the moment, 46.064. Will RS. Again, not where we'd expect Will to be based on the pre-season race. Perhaps still getting back into the groove of things. The time has run out. Xerxity has crossed the line. They won't get an extra lap. They're in 10th. And of course, Taters with the qualifying ban will be starting 11th. They're sitting in the pits at the moment. Widow making their way through the Le Mans chicane. No improvement, it seems, from Widow this time around. Is Husky set to improve? Can't quite see at the moment. Joe is coming up to the line. What's it going to be for Joe? There's the checkered flag. It is an improvement, and he goes up to 4th. What can Husky do? It's gonna be close. Not quite. No improvement for Husky. Dominic Kubinski making their way towards the line. Is it gonna be an improvement for them? It doesn't quite look like it. No. Joe has already crossed the line. Banana Josh on their way. Some more crossing the line as we speak. It is an improvement for Banana Josh. They go 5th. Dashi into 8th. And I think that's everyone across the line. So it is Widow taking the pole position here for the Sunshine 100 at the Daytona road course. Congratulations to them. That will be 1 extra point for the pole position. Very nicely done. LJ in chat cheering on Widow. Nice having you tuned in as well, LJ. Supporting the capital team. Here we go into the break period then. Here are your results from qualifying. Not quite as fast as we saw in practice, interestingly enough. Perhaps because they had a bit more time to burn off fuel, but it's a 145.266 for Widow, who takes the pole position here. Lining up alongside will be Distinct Husky in the Genesis. Mercedes of Dominic Kubinski manages to take 3rd. Top 3 all within 0.2 of a second. Best Nissan is 4th with Joe the Fire. That's interesting. The Nissan's not as dominant as we've seen in some of the previous races. Banana Josh in 5th. Artemis in 6th. Will RS in 7th. Dashi in 8th. 9th is Wybear. 10th is Xerxity. And 11th, not setting a time of course, is Taters. And there's our safety car driver as well, who will be on 0th place at the front of the field. Good session. Quite unpredictable as well. Fastest driver from practice, not the fastest in qualifying. And a good mix of cars towards the sharp end of the field. A couple Mercedes split by a Genesis. Nissan in 4th, Lamborghini 5th, McLaren 6th. Good mix indeed. If you're enjoying the live stream so far, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing for the rest of the season to be notified when the races start, the live streams and such. The break period will conclude in around 9-ish minutes. It might be a little bit longer than that, depending on how ready the drivers are. Okay, it will be the left side for the driver on pole position, so the odds will go on the left. That's the inside for turn 1, that makes sense. That's what Widow has chosen. There we go, there's the Dominic Kubinski in caps lock. In the lobby at least. Indeed, Wybear in a many layered of bread sandwich between some Nissan GTRs, 2 on either side. Oh, okay, we're starting. I think that might have been a misclick. Oh, never mind. Apologies. The break period is meant to have ended 2 minutes ago. Right. That was my bad on this. Okay. I'm gonna say 2 car length gaps again for safety. Just make sure no one hits anyone while on the formation lap. Myself being race director, of course, this is going to be quite tense. Apologies for the potential lack of commentary for this. Cars making their way around. Just going to do a quick replay check. Okay, that is functioning correctly. All is good. The safety car will be driving off shortly, just at the start of the banking. Out there. Double file odds left. Now, here we go. Can go anywhere between the end of the Geico restart zone and the timing line. It seems Widow's gone now. We are racing here for the Sunshine 100. Into turn one they go. Gotta watch that tailwind. We'll be entering this corner slower than normal, of course. Some cars shuffling around. I think Joe is changing positions as well. Looking to go nearly 3 wide. Will RS up to 5th as it stands. I think Banana Josh has lost out a little bit. It's Widow who leads. Hosky in 2nd and Dominic Kubinski charging in 3rd. Looking to the inside of Joe goes Will RS. Bit of a rivalry there from Road Atlanta, the preview event, as we saw Dashi go a little bit sideways on the exit of the Western Horseshoe. Now going on to the banking for the first time. It seems Widow's got quite a good gap. Not quite out of slipstream range, but not far off. 9/10 of a second. Here comes Will RS, looking to potentially challenge Dominic Kubinski going into the Le Mans chicane. Thinks better of it on that occasion. Joe cuts across. Joe cuts across the grass. That's going to put dirt on their tyres, and they're going to lose out to Banana Josh, maybe. Looks like Banana Josh lifting off a little bit to slot back in, get a bit of slipstream. And Dashi on the outside line, looking to get a bit of a run as well. The McLaren of Artemis in there as well. Bit of a train developing as they complete lap 1. And Husky has closed in significantly on Widow, it would seem. The gap now 6/10 of a second. I think there's some more changing side by side between Dashi and Artemis. Artemis looking to go down the inside. Has Dashi outbroke themselves? It looks like they have done. Artemis gets the move done. Nice work, as Joe has fallen down to 8th in all of this. And Zerg City looking to go on the attack. Dashi meanwhile goes back on the inside and passes Artemis. Great scrap. This squabbling is starting to separate these 6 from the 5 cars ahead of them. Artemis looking to the inside once again. Side by side they run on the banking. The gap for the lead, 8/10 of a second or so. We'll cut back to this. Now, which car has the superior straight line speed going down the backstretch? I'd imagine the GTR, but the McLaren looking very strong, has the inside line and gets it done. Nicely done indeed, and Dashi's gone off. Dashi with the oversteer. They've gone off onto the grass. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, just clipping the grass, bit of an overcorrection. They've gathered it back up. 5/10 is the gap for the lead as it stands. No positions changed for the top 3. And Will RS in 4th, still holding on. Banana Josh looking to close in with that Lamborghini. And will Artemis be able to lead this pack behind to the cars ahead? Taters has managed to get up into 7th through all of this. Remember, they missed out on qualifying. So very good start and opening laps for Taters, it seems. As their teammate runs wide, I think they may have outbroke themselves and didn't want to make contact with their teammate. Bit of oversteer for Zerg City. Here we go. Let's see what happened here. Yep, was going to run into the back of their teammate, bailed out. Smart driving. That's what they tell you to do on the What is Sportsmanship videos. Is Dashi on mediums? He is on mediums. That's an interesting strategy. Might explain why the car's a bit slippier. There are no tyre rules for this particular series. You can use whatever compound you like, so maybe he's just expecting to go for a longer stint. Xerxity currently in 10th, trying to close in on Wybear in 9th. Joe in 8th. Look at this battle. As Hosky's actually in the lead, they made that overtake. Looks like Widow could be challenging into turn 1. They are doing. Hosky's gone deep. And that move resets that particular battle. Making their way towards the International Horseshoe. Any challenging through here? Husky looking to the inside. Can't quite get it done. Apologies from cutting away from one battle, but the battle for the lead evidently important. And yep, Husky just running onto that off-cambered section on the outside. You have very limited grip through there. And Widow retaking that place. Dominic Kubinski very close behind in 3rd. Let's go back to the squabble that we saw. So Joe's up to 7th. Artemis has dropped back a bit. They're in 8th. Taylor's up to 6th. Good run by Taylor's, continuing. Going onto the banking. Got to be careful with throttle application. You saw some cars clip the outside wall, which ruins your momentum. And the battle for the lead. Here we are once again with the drone shots over the infield lake. Towards the Le Mans chicane. Not close enough to make a challenge, but you just want to stay close enough for a move into turn 1. This could be interesting. If Hosky gets alongside early, that could allow Kubinski to make it a 3 wide as they get close to the corner. We'll see how that goes. There goes Hosky to the outside. And here comes Dominic. It looks like Widow had to slot back in, but Kubinski, they're fighting over the slipstream of the Genesis. Dominic Kubinski goes into 2nd place. Do they look to get the lead, maybe? Not quite. May have had a thought about it, but chose to back out. Wise stuff at this early stage of the race. The squabbling continues. That's Joe and Taters. And they're nearly 3 wide. Artemis has gone off. Artemis onto the grass. They gather it back up. They rejoin in 9th. Xerxity could benefit here. Can't quite get enough traction on exit. So here it was, the squabbling. Joe going wide, and then Artemis trying to find their way through. Ran out of tarmac. Bit of rallycross. And Joe has managed to get ahead of Taters. Let's see if we can catch this one again. Oh, look at that. Taters outbraking himself, and the cutback from Joe. Look at that. Sublime racing. Taters will have the slipstream. Hosky into the lead then still. Widow looking close, and Will in this particular battle is very close to the back of Dominic Kubinski. Here comes Widow once again. This could be the tail of the race. If they keep swapping like this the entire way, it'll be a case of, do you want to lead on the last lap going through that final section? High-speed game of chess this. It's the kind of racing I love. Into turn 1 they go. That tailwind seems to have picked up a little bit. Side by side they run. Widow looking to make a move. We'll have the outside for the International Horseshoe. I don't think they're going to be able to get that one done unless they get traction on exit. Oh, it's close. I think it's single file through this kink, so difficult to challenge. Oh, look at that! Practically bumping them on the way through that corner. Oh, very close. Oh, bit of a slip from Husky as well. Oh, it's intense stuff. Practically camping, it's so intense. Another awful joke, apologies. Banana Josh pretty much by themselves in 5th. Joe of the Fire in 6th. Taters in 7th. Wybear 8th. Xerxity in 9th. And 10th place is Distinct Artemis. Dashi still recovering. They're in 11th. They're on the mediums, of course, so looking for a longer stint. Through the Le Mans chicane they go. Great camera work once again by Jack Wilkinson. Big up to them. Into the slipstream once more. A little bit of netcode there on the banking. We saw some of that at the high speed ring. Not as bad as it used to be, but still tricky. Coming up to the line to complete lap 7 on to lap 8. Will Widow go for the inside move? Oh, it's very late on the brakes. Do they get it stopped? Yes, and that's actually compromised Hosky, and that's allowed Kubinski to go through. Optimistic move, and a massive send by Kubinski. They're into the lead, and Hosky retakes the lead. There goes Will. What on earth has happened? Kubinski from the lead to 4th. What on earth? That was insane. Let's have a look at this. We're going rear wing cam. So there goes Kubinski to the inside. There's a whole load of onion barges shared between these drivers. Will finds their way up into 2nd, and Hosky retakes the lead. Awesome stuff, and Will's managed to get into the lead. Wow, through all of that squabbling, Will RS back on form in the yellow GTR of Wheelers Tuning by Project One. Side by side they go with Widow. Widow, I think, just clears them before the bus stop. The Le Mans chicane, they go through, and Hosky's down to 5th. What's happened to Hosky? Banana Josh has managed to get by them. So they were leading at this point. Oh! Slide McGee! The Genesis, proving to be a slippy car, and that's lost them a load of momentum on this flat-out section. And there's Banana Josh in the background. They must have managed to get the momentum and make the pass before the Le Mans chicane. Oh, costly mistake there by Hosky. Oh, it's still 3 cars battling. We're nearly 3 wide going through turn 1. And the Lamborghini managing to fend off the Genesis in the background as well. More awesome passing. A bit of contact there as Dominic Kubinski takes the inside line.com. 2 different generations of Mercedes cars there. Widow in the older one, Kubinski in the newer. Oh, this is awesome stuff. It's a 12-wheel train at the front. Surely you've got to leave a like and consider subscribing for this. On to the banking at turn 3. Speedway turn 3, that is. More sparks being thrown up by the cars. The sun continuing to set slightly. These 2 Mercedes looking to clear off a little bit from Will. Will 5/10 back, still within slipstream range. A solid run through the Le Mans chicane. Meanwhile, Banana Josh coming under attack perhaps from the Genesis of Hosky again. Here's the battle for the lead once more. There's another pack of cars that you can't really see at the moment because of what's going on at the front of the field, but I'll cut to it shortly. Does Kubinski go for a massive dive bomb? It looks like they tried it. Not close enough to get it to stick. So Wybear is currently in 7th, and I think it's the battle here between Zerk City and Artemis. Has Artemis gone to Narnia? It would seem so. They're sort of forced out position, and Taylor's has managed to benefit from this. They're side by side with Zerk City for 7th. Zerk City well held on the inside line at the International Horseshoe. Solid stuff as it stands. Here is the battle for the lead once more. Oh, this has been action-packed all the way through these first 10 or so laps. A 5-car battle indeed. Maro's definitely enjoying the spectacle here at the Daytona road course. Banana Josh, interestingly enough, has the fastest lap at this point, a 45.273 for that Lamborghini. So seemingly a bit better race pace than qualifying, if they're keeping that up. Kubinski. Now this is interesting. Widow's at that point where there's half a lane on the inside, so you're covering as much of the outside as you can without giving up the inside lane. That is fascinating stuff. Really good defensive work by Widow, and I think Kubinski's too close to get a decent run into turn 1. We'll have to get it done on the brakes. And Kubinski has been very strong on the brakes all day. They get it done. Dominic Kubinski of turn 1 takes the lead. At turn 1, fittingly enough, that's on brand. Contrasting lines, it seems that Dominic goes for a bit of an earlier apex there at the International Horseshoe, whereas Widow, a bit of a later one, trying to get a bit more mid-speed cornering through there. Banana Josh has managed to catch up to Will RS, around 0.6 of a second between those two. And he's taken Husky with him, so the top 5 closing up once again. Pack behind, led by Y-Bear as it stands in the Ford Mustang. Bit of a better race than the qualifying for Y-Bear. He's settled into a good rhythm. Xerxity in 7th. Distinct Artemis. It's been a very action-packed race for them so far. They're looking to get back towards the sharper end of the field. They're in 8th as it stands. Dashi in 9th, Joe in 10th, and Taylor's in 11th. What has happened between those two? We must have missed it. I'm guessing there was an incident between... no, because they would have called if there was... So maybe it's single car incidents for both of them. But they fell down the order a bit. That's very odd, especially in the case of Joe. We know their speed from the win that they had at the first round. And Taylor's as well, because they were second, but were leading going up to the line of the first round. So, misfortune for the race 1 pace setters. As all mistake there from Banana Josh. Goes a bit too deep into turn 1 and understeers off. That has allowed Husky to go through. Let's see if we can get an onboard of this. Yep, way too deep. Look at the marbles built up on the outside already. It's already tricky enough to get it stopped through there. Ooh! Good job to not spin it with half the car on the grass. Oh, I might be speaking a bit too soon. It's still sliding a bit. The weight distribution on the Lamborghini, with it being mid-engined, not too good for its rear tyre life, as you can see. Though it's not too far off from what we're seeing from Dominic Kubinski at the moment. It is the worst of these top 5 for rear tyre wear, but it's not as big a margin as I might have expected. And I believe the only medium runner we have at the moment is Dashi, who's still out there. It's holding on to 10th as it stands. The top 2 have broken away from the rest of the field. Will RS and Husky. They're going side by side through the penalty serving zone. And Husky goes back up to 3rd place. Widow in 2nd. Perhaps now starting to think if we just settle in with Dominic, we can potentially get a bit of a gap over the rest of the field. It seems to have worked so far. Xerxity into the pits. This is an interesting call. So they're stopping on lap 12. That's approximately halfway through this, so they're splitting it pretty much in half. And a little bit early, perhaps hoping for a safety car, catch some of the others off. Pits do close when the safety car becomes active. But so far, everything has been fine. And I hope that's not Curse of the Commentator, me saying that just now. 11 viewers currently on live stream, thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying the action, consider liking and subscribing for the rest of the season. This race brought to you by Tesco own brand tropical concentrate juice. Good stuff. Into the Le Mans chicane once again. Dominic Kubinski doing a nice job. Now, will we see Widow lift off a bit, or will they go for the pass? I think they're close enough if they want to make the pass, but will they, or do they choose to stick in behind Dominic? Are we seeing a bit of bump drafting maybe? We are! That's the game plan then. The two Mercedes, two different teams, and two different generations of car. A little bit more contact into turn one there, that might have just been netcode. But that seems to be the game plan, and it's working at the moment because Hosky, by himself, is unable to catch. Let's compare lap times actually. So it's a 1:45.8 last time for Hosky, and a 1:45.1 for Widow. And that's currently the fastest lap of the race, is that one. So the strategy definitely working between these two Mercedes drivers. The headlights are starting to come on now, so we're getting into the darker portions of the race. We're past the halfway mark by now, which would normally be an indication that we're going to see some pit stops. Especially considering that one pit stop is mandatory. You don't have a compound rule, but you must pit at least once. And judging by how light the tyre wear seems to be here at this circuit, mainly because it's a lot of high-speed, smooth bankings and such. One pit stop would seem to be the optimal idea. You might even go as far as to say don't take tyres, just go into the pits and refuel. That might be a game plan for some of these. Dominic seemingly going a little bit ahead. Banana Josh into the pits. I would expect them to take tyres given their car, so that might cost them a bit of extra time. Into the pits for the capital Lamborghini. Eventually, Wyberg goes through across the line in that Mustang, as does Artemis. He's still not reached the pits. This is what I was on about earlier with the pit delta at this circuit being very long. Fuel won't last the whole race, that's right. So, yep, new tyres for the Lamborghini, bit of fuel, and they rejoin in 8th, just behind Joe of Fire. Who has been doing a good job at saving fuel. Well, actually, Joe might have gone into the pits early. That might have been the strategy called by Joe. Lap 7. That's why he was a bit off sequence then. He made his pit stop very early. Interesting call, because you're going to be on a higher fuel load for longer. But, again, maybe hoping to have caught a safety car. Hasn't come. What's going on with the rest of the field? I think Taylor's might have done the same thing. Yep, lap 10 seems to be when they came into the pits. They're on a fresh rubber. Decent amount of fuel on board as well. A bit of a sideways action. Dashi currently in 11th on those mediums. I'm not sure, but Dashi might be going for a no stop here if they're fuel saving as well. And of course that's not allowed. Actually, if you're listening to this, that's not allowed if you are doing that. As clever of a strategy as it might have been, one pit stop is mandatory. Either that or he's not bought softs, which evidently the budget for the nuke shot operation is not the highest on the grid. Those endurance headlights on Dominic Kubinski's car are glaring into the camera there. 0.4 of a second between these two, and they're still working together. 4.6 seconds, 4.7 now between them and Hosky. Will is in 4th, and Wybear in 5th as it stands. A lot of these guys yet to make their pit stops. Oh, Dash did pit. Okay. Thanks for informing me on that one, Myth. I was getting a bit concerned with that. But fair enough. Closest quote-unquote battle on circuit is for the lead. And I say that because, oh, they're both into the pits. Battle of the pit crews then. Oh, it seems Widow's done a bit of fuel saving in that slipstream. Could be a bit of a faster stop. Interesting. Hosky stays out, as does Will. So Hosky takes the lead as it stands. Yet to make a pit stop. Wybear also stays out. They're going to take this as long as they can, I think, to maximise their low fuel running. Keep the car as light as possible. Widow rejoins. They rejoin behind Wybear, ahead of Artemis, and Artemis seems to have split Widow and Kubinski on that pit sequence. So the fuel saving has managed to get Widow some track position at this stage. Interesting stuff. There is Dominic Kubinski, car 72 of turn 1. And they're stuck behind the McLaren at this stage then. We'll at least have a slipstream partner, which is something that Widow doesn't have. Now, will they start bump drafting with Artemis? That'll be an interesting insight to see. Don't think Artemis has made a pit stop. No, it seems not. If they did, it was really early. Looking to the inside. Oh, bit of contact. That's close. I think fair enough. They gave each other racing room. Just a little bit of contact is all. I'm gonna put that down to netcode, perhaps. A little bit of nudging, it seems. There's Joe in the background as well. As they come up to the start-finish line on the tri-oval. Now, Kubinski should be able to get ahead on the brakes massively. Yep, oh, have they overshot it? You know, the brakes on that newer Mercedes are absolutely insane. He's able to brake so late. It's incredible. They've now got 3 seconds to catch back to Widow. It seems that's the gap that Widow has built up, and Widow could be facing some traffic of their own as Wybear is the car ahead. Who has still yet to pit. Wouldn't be surprised if they come in soon. At this rate, they are going to run out of fuel, so they will definitely pit. They're not trying a no-stop as I may have thought Dashi was earlier. Track temperature will be coming down a bit as well. That'll be helping the tyres a smidge. And of course the air will be getting thicker as well with the colder temperatures, so a bit higher downforce. Could be seeing some riskier moves, such as a little bit more grass tracking from a good friend Joe of the Fire. Probably not setting fire to said grass. Here he was going on backstretch and looking to make a move. No, backs out of it wisely, so I'd say, for the Le Mans chicane. Just overrunning it a little bit. 2 wheels on the curb, that's fine. Into turn 1 they go, looking for the wide entry. Important to get the car slowed down enough to be able to make the turning, because you're on the outside. And it looks like they have a fantastic run to the inside of the International Horseshoe. Well done by Joe. Oh, bit of contact midway through the corner. I think they're okay. Hosky still yet to pit. Slightly concerning if they're trying to go to the end of this. Will RS as well. I'm hoping these guys are aware of that. There's a mandatory 1 stop, even if you can make it to the end. And at the moment it's net leader, Widow, who has got ahead of Wybear at this stage. Wybear still yet to pit, currently running 4th. Bit of a glory for Nukeshot in the higher places at this stage, even if it is due to pit cycles. The brake discs really glowing orange there, contrast to the yellowish green rims. Really stands out. More sparks being thrown up by the cars ahead. Dominik Kubinski around 1.9 seconds behind Wybear. And according to the Delta, the Mustang's a bit faster through this banking section. And of course Joe, being in the slipstream, is going to be a little bit faster anyway. That Nissan GTR car, number 99. Sun really starting to go down now. We're seeing some pink clouds. Beautiful scenes. Wind speed, still a tailwind going into turn 1, but the speed has dropped a bit. It's now 3.5 meters a second. So we could be seeing slightly later braking from some of these guys, especially if the downforce levels go up a bit with the thicker air. Atmospheric pressure and such. 14 seconds at the moment, but losing time hand over fist it seems, is Hosky. They've got to be pitting relatively soon, maybe even the second to last lap. We're also getting to a point where the safety car won't be called out, so there's only so many laps remaining. I think it's 5 laps to go when that becomes a thing, that it can't be called out. It's been a great race. Bit of onion barges in places, but for the most part it's been very clean. And given some drivers' expectations of what turn 1 especially would be like, it's very optimistic. Here comes Dominik Kubinski, looking to close in on Wybear, and actually here comes Joe with the Fire to the inside line for turn 1. Massive send, gets past Wybear as well, both of them do. Side by side still through the little chicane towards the International Horseshoe. Still side by side they run. Kubinski able to carry a little bit more speed on the outer line, sliding a bit though. They lost traction from throttle application, and Joe manages to get that move to stick. Will Kubinski go for a dive? We know the Mercedes is strong on the brakes at the Western Horseshoe, and they do get it done. Great battling still between these. Myth in chat, unfortunately, having nothing to do today. Well, apart from the safety car parade lap thing. So thanks for that, Smith. And thanks for being on standby, as usual. Joe's actually got the fastest lap of the race. I wondered if we'd see a 44 today. It's a 44.945 for Joe of the Fire, the Winnie Professor, one of his many nicknames. And he's doing a bit of bump drafting here with Dominic, going into the Le Mans chicane, trying to catch up to the leaders. Not many laps to go. Hosky running out of time to make a pit stop. I get the strategy. You want to keep the car as light as possible for as long as possible, and going this long into a stint is the way to do that. Wybear finally bails. Thank goodness for that. There you see the bright green rims once again. That's how you know it's a Nuke Shop pit stop. Would also be the pit crew kit, but it seems that it's not applied at the moment. It seems to be the default. I'll have to get that sorted. So into the pits they go. They finally made it to the box. Changing the tyres. A little bit of fuel. Actually, changing the tyres, that's not ideal. Would have lost a bit of time from that. We'll be hoping to catch up to Taters, I think, then. 7.3-ish seconds between those two. Could have been a bit closer, otherwise... Oh, was that Taylor's making a bit of a mistake? It's overrunning it into the Western Horseshoe, I think. Yep, onto the marbles a bit. Missing the apex. Bit of optimism there for the Nuke Shop driver behind. Hosky still continues to stay out. They probably are going to end up pitting on the second to last lap. Everyone else, I think, has made a pit stop at this stage, because Widow is back into the net first place. Second overall as it stands. Will RS at the head of this particular battle. Third, fourth and fifth, all very close together. Let's compare strengths and weaknesses at the moment. It seems Will has the worst tyre life. Has Will actually made a stop? I'm not sure if Will has made a stop. I don't think they have. So they're sort of in this battle artificially, as Kubinski's having to go around the outside, and that has opened the door for Joe. Side by side they run still. Kubinski looking to get past Will on the inside. Gets that one to... Where's Will? Has Will gone to Narnia? No, they're back. It was a short visit through the wardrobe. And the bump drafting continues between Joe and Dominic. Joe, being as smart as he is, will definitely be looking to make a move on the final lap. Getting as close as he can through the Le Mans chicane and hoping to slipstream past Dominic. So that's why he's staying behind for now. He's sort of sizing up his options. He looks to the outside. I think Dominic may have lifted off a bit there. I have to check the telemetry on that one. That may have been deliberate. It could be a game of chicken between these two on the final lap. It's possible to save fuel, even like with Mix 6 if you're really desperate. That's the thing that I'm concerned about with some of these. So Kubinski's still in third, Joe in fourth. They're both past Will at this stage. See, that's close on fuel for Will. He's within 10%, that's what the red flashing indicator is. I'm going to check a bit further down the order. Banana Josh in sixth, they look pretty set. They're actually purple through that first sector. Well done to them for that. Artemis in 7th as it stands. 8th place for Taters. And the gap between them and Y-Bear has actually gone up. It's now 8 seconds. So, no late charge it would seem, bar a mistake. Xerxity is in 10th. It's been a bit of an anonymous race for them, unfortunately. And Dashi on the mediums. Again, a bit anonymous. Now, Hosky has potentially this lap and one more to make an opportunity to go into the pits. Do they pit? No, they don't. They are going to leave it to one more lap. If they are having to fuel save in order to do this, they're going to be losing a lot of time anyway. So you might as well have come in lap 23 if that was the pace you could run full chat at to. I fear there could be some penalties if some of these guys don't pit. They could be doing a Michael Schumacher and staying out until the last lap, but like last possible opportunity. But it's tricky. 8 point. Yeah, look at the delta between these guys. 8.5, 8.4, 8.3. It keeps going down. At this rate, I think Widow's going to catch them anyway. Possibly. So Hosky, maybe they weren't informed. It's on the drivers and the team to make sure that everything's clear with the rules and such. And I tell you what, the strategy of fuel saving by Widow when they were helping Dominic Kubinski with the bump drafting and able to jump them in the pits, get a car between them, that, I think, was the strategy call of the race. If things stay as they are, that was a fantastic strategy call. Banana Josh being closed in on by Will. In fact, I think that's Will going or dropping back behind Banana Josh. So Josh back into 5th. And Will running almost on fumes. Hosky hasn't pit. They have stayed out. They ran wide. So Hosky has stayed out. I'm checking my notes again. I'm almost certain that is a mandatory... Yeah, I've got it on my commentary notes here. Minimum 1 pit stop, no compound rules. Here's Widow. They're closing in anyway. I hope that it doesn't end in a bit of a messy affair at the end. Oh dear. Unfortunate stuff. Kubinski and Joe still close together. Kubinski's got a little bit of a gap over Joe, trying to counter Joe's strategy of the last lap pass. Seems that Dominic has saved a bit of extra pace in the tank as Joe seemingly wearing out their tyres from the earlier stop. Husky coming up to the Le Mans chicane for what will be the final time. If I'm not mistaken, it won't be them collecting the win. I think they'll be disqualified for this. Remains to be seen what the stewards will do. Through Speedway turn 4 they go. On the road, it will be Husky that crosses the line first, but it will be most likely Widow taking the win for Capital. Now, I'm not a steward, so I can't really jump to conclusions on that, but based on my notes, it should be Widow that's won, so congratulations to them. Dominic Kubinski gets 2nd then. Joe will be 3rd. That's your podium. And based on the qualifying that Joe had, that's a really solid result there. Banana Josh will be in 4th then. 5th will be Will or... Oh no, Will also didn't make a pit stop, but they ran out of fuel towards the end anyway. So I think Will could be potentially disqualified from this as well. Taylor's finishes on the road 6th, as I think Widow may have disconnected right at the end. Artemis was behind Taters. Then it's Wybear, Xerxity, and Dashi coming across the line. And that concludes the race. I think if the disqualifications are as I have in my notes, then yes, it should be 4th, I think, Banana Josh. Now remember everyone, I am not a steward. I am a humble commentator. Well, humble. No, I'm the greatest commentator that ever lived, but... oh dear. That'll land me in hot water. My point is, I can't be 1,000,000% certain on this. It'll be to the organisers to know for certain. I'm just going by what my notes say. If Husky is allowed to do a no stop, and the same for Will, then fair enough. It's just not allowed according to my notes. If that is the case, I'll have my notes updated for next time. Here are your results as they are on the road, at least, for the Sunshine 100 here at the Daytona road course. We saw 100 miles of racing here today. Went from evening to darkness. It was a fantastic race, and I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing for the rest of the season. It was Distinct Husky taking the provisional win, I'll say, on the road at least, in that Genesis. Dominic Kubinski 2nd, Joe 3rd, Banana Josh 4th. I think this isn't counting Widow, because Widow disconnected after they crossed the line. So Widow's actually in 2nd. So it would be Dominic 3rd, Joe 4th, Banana Josh 5th, Will 6th, 7th for Taters, 8th for Artemis, 9th for Wybear, 10th for Xerxity, 11th for Dashi, as they are on the road at least. That is, well, it's going to cause a little bit of controversy, I think, unfortunately so, but hopefully it's not overly big and things are just going to get sorted out for next time. Nevertheless, let's not really focus on that, because it was a fantastic race. We saw battles throughout the field, no safety cars at all. Nevertheless, thanks to Myth, safety car driver, who was there for the formation lap, and on standby, of course, very much appreciated his services once again. What a race it was. We saw some fantastic battling, and we hope you've enjoyed it. Where's round 3 going to be, I hear you ask? I am checking on my notes. The calendar, here we are. September 2nd, so that's next week. We are going to the Suzuka circuit in Japan for what will be the Toyota Gazoo GP. 28 laps. That's 100 miles once again, 100 miles being the standard race distance here for the Capital GT Championship. Weather is set to random, so we could potentially see some rain again, like we saw at High Speed Ring, but it's remains to be seen. So definitely tune in for that one. That could be a really exciting race as well. Well, Daytona has definitely delivered. We hope you've enjoyed the live stream. Again, one last call. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing for the rest of the season with your notifications set to all. That way you're notified when the live streams go live. From all of us here at the Capital GT Championship and the Nookshot Media Center, I have been Zokia, and it's good night from all of us here. Hope to see you at Suzuka in a week's time. Goodbye, everyone.